Good morning. Our today's lecture is related to cell division. Cell division that results in the formation of new cells. New cells are needed by the living organisms, such as plants and animals, when they grow and reproduce. There are two types of cell divisions. One is called mitosis and the other one is called meiosis. Both of these type of cell divisions take place in all the living organisms, whether they are very small, such as bacteria, or very tall, such as plants. So we'll talk more about that. What are the differences between these two types of cell divisions today? From today's lecture, there are four learning objectives, and those are listed here on this slide. The student should be able to understand different stages of each type of cell division, mitosis and meiosis. Should be very clear in their mind how they divide. Then they should also be able to see big differences between these two types of cell divisions. And the fourth objective is the significance of each type of cell division. Where does it take place, and what is the significance of each type of cell division? How important it is for the organism to have both types of cell divisions in their body. At this stage, the students should have a very clear idea what the living things are composed of. They are composed of cells, of course. So what's inside the cells? What are different compartments? What are different organelles inside the cells? And what is the importance and the structure of nucleus? What is it composed of? What are chromosomes? What are they composed of? What is their role in heredity? What is their role in controlling the functions of the cells? And how do animals and plant cells take part in starting new plants and new animals? So all those questions should be very clear in their mind. All these concepts should be very clear in their mind because that will help to understand the process of mitosis and meiosis. All the higher organisms, including plants and animals, they have very similar life cycle. There are big differences, of course, when it comes to plants and animals, and within plants and within animals, there are big differences depending on the type of plant that we are talking about. But the process, nevertheless, is very similar. Mitosis and meiosis takes place in their life cycle. Mitosis results into the formation of more and more cells. Meiosis makes gametes, the cells that take part in fertilization process, the cells that make zygotes that results in the formation of embryos. Embryos result in the formation of babies, fetuses, babies. Babies are born, and the process continues of mitosis, and that results into adults. Adults produce those gametes in their sex organs, and those gametes start the process of fertilization again. In mitosis, the cells contain two sets of chromosomes. So, and those cells produce gametes. Gametes have only half the number of chromosomes. So, two gametes, eggs and sperm, for example, if you pay attention to the image on the left side. So the two gametes that are shown there as haploid gametes, ovum as well as sperm cells, they fuse to make a zygote. Zygote is a diploid again. So this cycle of diploidy and haploidy continues in the life cycle of the organism. The same thing continues in case of animals. No matter which animal we talk about, they go through a very similar process, especially the ones that are reproduced through sexual reproduction process. Plants are very similar also. The gametes that they produce are pollens and eggs. Pollens and eggs are also haploid, so they fuse, their cells fuse to make a zygote. Zygote results into the embryo, and then seed is produced from there. Seed is grown, results into the formation of a plant, and the process continues after that as well. Here are some of the main differences between the two types of cell divisions. Mitosis is also called as equational cell division because one cell gives rise to two cells which are just a replica of the original cell. So the mother cell gives rise to two cells that are exactly the same as the mother cell. So mother cell disappears. And then mitosis takes place in almost all the organs of an organism that are diploid, that have two sets of chromosomes in them. And that set of chromosomes is maintained in the daughter cells as well. So if a cell has 20 chromosomes, then the two daughter cells, each one of those daughter cells also have 20 chromosomes in it. And then another difference is that there is no genetic exchange of material between two homologous chromosomes. The two chromosomes that are part of the same pair, there is no genetic exchange of material that takes place in those two. Meiosis takes place only in few organs of the body. These organs, or the sex organs, gives rise to gamete cells, eggs, sperms, and pollens. Flowers produce them. In case of male and female parts of the humans and other animals also produce these type of gametes. So the difference in this case is that the number of chromosomes in those gametes is just a half as compared to the other cells. So the cells that have two sets of chromosomes gives rise to cells that have only half the number of chromosomes as the original cells. So when sperms are produced, there are millions of sperms produced. When egg is produced, usually there is one or two eggs are produced at a time. Another difference in this case is that the number of chromosomes, other than the half the number of chromosomes, the homologous chromosomes of the same pair, they exchange genetic material, meaning that arms of chromosomes, they go overlapping. So in that overlapping or crossing over event that I will explain it to you later, the genetic material is exchanged. A part of a chromosome is given to the other chromosome, and a part from the other chromosome is taken. And that is the result of all the sort of variation that we see in the individuals, in all the families or the siblings from the same families, all the flowers. That is the main reason that we see all that variation. These things will get more clear once I actually show you different steps and different animations and different stages in terms of images. It will get much more clear than this. Here's one example of genetic diversity within the family among the siblings. Even though this is a bad example, nevertheless, it just shows some variation that results from the meiosis process. This is a more realistic example of genetic variation that comes from the genetic exchange of material between two homologous chromosomes that result into the formation of gametes. Gametes are different from each other depending on which gamete takes part in the formation of the zygote that results into the individual. So in each family, single child or multiple children, you can say they have some resemblance either with the father or the mother, or they have features in between because that genetic material comes from both of the parents at the same time. But where there are multiple siblings present in the same family, you can see some variation in them, even among the siblings as well. So that is the basis. The basis of all this type of genetic variation is just one thing, which is meiosis, and that kind of diversifies everything that we see around us.